This is getting very, very choppy for me already. All I heard was welcome to Split Podcast. Alan, I'm like, what?
Hello and welcome to the Split Screen Podcast, Episode 2, Take 2, and a bit. As you may be able to tell from the introduction, we had a bit of trouble recording the podcast over Skype this week. Essentially, everything I recorded exploded into 400 audio jigsaw pieces. I've spent the past couple nights piecing it all back together, but unfortunately, we lost the introduction, so you'll never know that you can now subscribe to the podcast through iTunes. You can also do that through Zune once I figure out how to submit it to the Zune marketplace, because their website isn't very clear. So if you have it on Zune, just hold on, it will be coming soon enough. Sadly as well, we've had to drop our little chat about the Sony NGP, which is Sony's new handheld console. Essentially, they're doing the same thing as always, where they're cramming lots of graphics down onto a tiny little screen. But we concluded that that's not really the type of gaming experience we want when we're on the go. We prefer things like Doodle Jump and Words with Friends. Simple games. But anyway, let's rejoin the show from where we managed to save it and watch as I do this with a little bit of radio magic. But Alan, surely no one would want to play a game like Assassin's Creed on a tiny handheld screen.
Exactly, and I have just finished Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is good because I finally broke 30,000 gamerscore points, so my e-penis extends even further. Yes, thank you very much. The reason it's bad is because I now have to write a review of it along with Assassin's Creed 2, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. So I've now moved on to some of the post-Christmas deluge. So I have Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands, that I got for my birthday last year, which, to sum up in one word, it's a bland witch.
A bland witch?
It is a very bland game sandwich with very little filling.
So it's, bland content, but perfectly serviceable bread? So...
Yes, it's just a game, and considering I've taken it upon myself as a job to describe games, and I'm finding it very difficult to come up with the usual silly similes and metaphors. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's very, very average, and hopefully it'll get a bit better. But right now it's not looking too hopeful. It's never had a full heartbeat. It's always been in a very sluggish pulse.
Well, I finally beat Dead Space the other night, and the last 3 chapters of the game suddenly got a hell of a lot more interesting than the first 8. As we said last week, it kind of hit the boring side of repetition, but it was nice to finish it. I got that satisfaction, kind of like when you finish a good book, except, you don't get achievements. But I got achievements here, got a load that I wasn't even going for, which is even better. So I think my total is up to 17,000 now, so I'm half your score, but I'm getting there, catching up slowly.
I have a confession to make, and that's it. Every time I see you playing a game and I already have, what I like to do is go on to True Achievements and see if you've got any that I haven't got. And I think I could get that. I could get that. So that's probably why I am mathematically superior, because I am socially inferior. So that's probably why.
Well, we each have our different skills. I'm now sort of superior at becoming famous on the internet. That's always good.
Yeah, we can't win. It's not like an equal partnership. This website is just a set of scales that continually tip in either of our directions. So, because you're basking in the internet limelight after your Minecraft infographic, I've become a hermit, and I live in the Allen cave and just write these really, really niche articles now.
But now the Team Fortress 2 versus Minecraft infographic, I think it's fair to say our biggest and best article on the site so far. Would you agree, Alan? Best article on the site?
Begrudgingly, it is the biggest, and the best. Only time will tell. That's all I'd say.
Mm. But now it was...
I woke up on Sunday morning last week to an email from our web hosting company saying that our website was under a denial of service attack and it temporarily disabled it. I mean, maybe what happened was the article that I wrote about how much I hated 4chan got published or something, and they attacked us. But there was no attack. It was just that people had actually visited the website for once. So clearly they have very, very low expectations.
And whatever their algorithms to calculate how popular or how unpopular we are were fairly accurate before, because I think it was dwindling. A couple hundred art views, we were ecstatic, and then I think we crashed go over 50,000. And
it's broken the internal competition we have, because the previous article I got in Kotaku was great, and I'd got one up on you then, and that was like 10 times what anyone would get. But now you've got like nearly 60,000 views, and I feel like I'm standing at the foot of a mountain, and it's going to take this Herculean task to beat you. But that's part of the challenge.
Indeed, your move, Williamson. But
it's on now. It's on.
But you can see the graph on the site and many other places. But the only point I had, I think it was fairly well received. People didn't like the fact that I compared to two completely different games, but that's their deal. The only point I was trying to make was just how much Team Fortress 2 has changed since it was first released. I mean, this was a game which is very clear cut, 9 classes, 3 weapons each, and now it's full of this hats. It's full of hats and making hats and buying hats.
I didn't even know there were hats until I'd actually seen that infographic. So in that way, it certainly informed me. So out of the 60,000 people that viewed it, at least one of them learned something. So that's good.
Yeah, and it's changed. It's changed a lot, and the crafting meant something else when it was first introduced. Now it looks like it's so intensive that it just drives you to buy whatever it is you're trying to make from the internal store. There's a store in this game called the Manco store. It's full of funny comics and funny slogans and complete and utter rip-offs. I mean, we're just browsing it before the podcast. And there's something called a Bargaining Man's Bundle of Bargains. And it's a collection of weapons and hats that the people in the community have made and now are in the game. And it comes in at £39.
The last time I played Team Fortress 2, they gave you the weapons as part of the game. That was something to be assumed, that they wouldn't throw you in with a handful of dirt and a couple of nails that you found on the ground. That you would actually get a shotgun or a rocket launcher. You wouldn't have to actually spend more money to get the weapons.
No.
I mean, the one you pointed out to me was that you could buy 5 hats for $24.99, and you could buy 5 real hats for that price. At least you power up your head with warmth. But it's we looked at the prices on Steam, and the orange box, which if anyone doesn't know, and I'm sure somebody doesn't, the orange box comprises Half-Life 2, both the Half-Life 2 episodes, and you also get Team Fortress 2 and Portal. So that's £17. Or you can buy Team Fortress 2 on its own, and that's £14.
So while the orange box has 4 extra games, it only costs £3 more than the base version. I mean, none of their prices make sense across the board. I mean, and they're known to just give away some of these games for free. So it's strange. I mean, they kind of whore out Team Fortress 2. Like, they know it's their most good-looking daughter, and they're like, you should buy this other game and we'll give you hats. I mean, that's what they did. Again, it's all about these hats. If you pre-order Worms, you'll get some hats for the game. If you buy Killing Floor, you'll get the Pyro hat. And if you buy Monday Night Combat, you'll get items in both games. It's just so bizarre.
I was going to say, it's like, yeah, well, you want the attractive daughter, but here's her ugly sister. That might get you closer to going out with the attractive one. It's like, oh, brilliant, yeah. Oh, Worms, new hats, brilliant, yeah. That's not so bad after all. Great personality, this Worm.
So you can buy these games on Steam, but I'm guessing people out there, again, probably don't know what the hell Steam is, and it's not the gaseous liquid. So Steam, Alan.
Physics joke,
yeah.
I'll let you get away with one.
Yeah.
So Steam was launched with Half-Life 2 in 2004, and I guess it marks the beginning of the digital distribution era, because Steam was sort of the genesis for Xbox Live. Well, not Xbox Live, but the Xbox Live Marketplace, certainly, and WiiWare, DSiWare, PlayStation Network, etc., etc. And it was a really awful piece of software. It was really odious. It was genuinely hated by everyone that played Half-Life 2 because of these really pointless restrictions on when you could play, crashed all the time, it was really incompatible. I mean, you'd swear that this actually had malicious intentions, like Shodan from System Shock. But luckily, Half-Life 2 was just the best computer game ever made, and so that was okay. It was worth putting up with Steam. But whenever 5 million people were testing a new service on day one, there are always going to be problems.
Yeah, so Steam is pretty much the easiest way to buy and download games on the PC. They'll update automatically. You get all this great protection from cheaters. They have a Valve anti-cheat, so if someone is caught cheating in a game, essentially they're blocked out of their Steam account, which means all of the games that they've bought they can no longer play. So it's a great incentive. It's a great way of policing the community with that.
Whoa! They can't play them offline.
No, if you get banned from Steam, you get locked out of your account. You need to register a new Steam account, which means a new credit card, which means buying all the games again.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why it's a big deal. Like if you get caught by get caught cheating by Valve, so it's a good way of clamping down.
It's a good thing I'm honest.
Yeah, it's a good thing I never got caught when I downloaded all my hats. But but now it also gives protection to the developers because their games can't be pirated on Steam. It's a closed system, and it's really good because it's a lot of sales are there, and their sales are ridiculous. They'll sell games for 75% of the actual price.
Wasn't there a problem with Modern Warfare 2 when it launched on Steam, and a lot of people got accused of cheating in it and got banned from their Steam accounts? And Valve had to do this whole big climb down and give them lots of free games. Or did I just make that up?
No, that's completely right. That did happen. Their systems incorrectly tagged people before, but they seem to be decent enough about. Well, that's the thing. Whenever Valve wrong you, they will give you a free game, because they know that that how do you placate an angry gaming nerd? You make him play a game. So.
Well, I guess that's true. Just stick the gaming dummy back into his mouth.
It's interesting because Valve, we keep mentioning their company, they make games, they're a developer, but now with Steam they're also a publisher. So they've got this sort of conflict of interest, and they probably share information internally, but it's so strange to see what they did recently. They introduced this promotion called the Great Steam Treasure Hunt, and they've done similar things like this in the past. But this was them really like hitting home with some new age psychology on how to sell games.
Well, this is where they turned buying games into a game. The object was to buy all the games, and so whoever bought the most games would win even more games. So, you should probably point out that they couldn't actually sell these games to recoup their losses. So it was like you're kind of like gambling with games, weren't you?
It kind of was. I mean, the way the Great Steam Treasure Hunt worked was that you had 10 achievements to complete. And if you completed these achievements, you would get a raffle ticket and you'd be entered into a great sweepstakes. And the grand prize was that you would win 100 games. And 100 games, 100 is a big number.
It's a bit like winning a massive pile of burgers for winning a burger eating contest. That's a lot of games. I mean, I think I own about maybe 350 games, and I never sell them. So you can own a quarter of my life's entire collection in an instant. I mean, that's bananas. But I mean, whenever you put it into context, it does make my life seem a lot less significant. I think I'm gonna have to start becoming really good at squash.
or you could learn to play the guitar, Alan. I mean,
I could. Unfortunately, whenever I did my iPhone article, you would have put up yesterday, it has my New Year's resolutions in it, so I'm going to get hundreds of people going, when are you going to learn the guitar, Alan? When are you going to play the guitar? I'm like, just because I made them in the new year doesn't mean I have to start them all the new year.
Yeah. But I don't know how many games I've had, maybe 50 or 100. I mean, I don't feel like I play that many. I certainly don't write about them that often, that's for damn sure.
That's nothing. You could win that in a Steam sale.
But these Steam sales that come out, they tend to be such huge reductions on the initial price that you just buy things and you go like, oh, I remember the demo from that game. And so it makes me feel like I'm the fat guy who hates McDonald's because Whoppers are so goddamn cheap, whatever one is from that.
Whenever I was thinking about it, it's like whenever you go to a sale in a clothes shop and you buy a new jumper and you think, oh, that's a really good deal, that's a nice jumper, it's a bargain. But you've already got loads of jumpers, so whether it's good value or not, it's irrelevant because you're never going to wear it. It's like all these games I have just sit in the cupboard getting all moth-eaten. I mean, at this point, I feel like the only way I'm going to complete all the games I own is to get some magic watch that freezes time. And I mean, even then, if I did have a magic watch that froze time, I probably wouldn't want to spend that frozen time playing games.
But now, yeah, I mean, I've bought quite a few games. Recently, I went on a sort of Christmas splurge, and I just look at them now as this daunting digital stack of a digital to-do list that I'm going to have to work through. And it's like, oh man, what have I done for myself? Because I can't not play Stalker now that I've bought it for only $4.99, which is a damn steal.
Yes, I also bought Stalker in the Steam sale, and I played about 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, I downloaded it, installed it. Well, we don't install it, just downloaded it and started playing, and I was like, cool. Anyway, back to Team Fortress 2 and some hats. Back on the treasure hunt, they had this list of 10 achievements. Now, the first few achievements were all about basically giving them sort of more information so that they could sell you more stuff. So simple things like, add 10 more friends. They've introduced a wish list, which if you've used Amazon, basically saying like, I want to buy this sometime, and then I can share my wish list with Alan, and he'll go, oh, you know what? Craig clearly wants to buy Stalker Clear Sky, even though he hasn't played the original Stalker yet. I'll buy that for him. And
I bet there was one guy who was like looking at the Steam treasure hunt. He's like, I'm going to win this, and he had made a wish list of 100 games and he knew he was going to win. And then he got to day one, add 10 friends. Oh, come on, no, where am I going to get 10 friends? And that was it. That was him out.
I'm sure if we looked in on the Valve forums that we'd find like lists where it's like, come on, just add me as a friend. I swear to God, it's like Match.com, but like not even like the fake promise of sex. It's just I need more games. Non-smoker.
The faint promise that somebody might gift you a copy of Civilization 5.
But the rest of these achievements, they actually involved again buying more games. So buy Stalker and play up to the 3rd level until you unlock this achievement, and then you can go back to not playing the game, because if you didn't have it at that point, you probably weren't that interested in it.
Well, that's it. You can go on to the next game you're not going to play, buy that, and then not play that as well. But at least you've got a nice list of words that could correspond to games that you might possibly play.
But again, if you participated in this in any way, you got a Team Fortress 2 hat. And it always comes back to
it had to come back to the hats, didn't it?
Yeah. So Valve, like, whether it's their game plan or their marketing plan, like they stood up at the beginning of 2010, like this is our corporate strategy for the coming years. It's to turn all of our games into shopping experiences and turn our shop into a gaming experience.
I mean, I remember whenever you collected coins in the game, and that was the aim of the game. That was a reward in itself. Mario got his 100 coins, and he got a life, and Sonic collected rings, and then you got more obscure gemstones and things. And maybe you got a score or something like that. But maybe nowadays the Sony NGP should have a slot you can ram coins in, and then whenever you're playing Call of Duty, if you run out of ammunition, you get a $sign flash up, and you have to quickly insert coins before you get gunned down.
Well, there's actually in Call of Duty Black Ops, there's currency in the game where you can buy new weapons and new stuff. So like it's as we've seen with The Sims, it's not that hard to put a conversion to real pounds at the end of the day.
I think that sounds like the apocalypse, to be honest. Playing games for virtual currencies, which you then use to buy more imaginary things. I think this is it's just like, I remember Sims dollars, because they really tried to get you into that, and then because Sims 2 you could get loads of free content off the website, and you could get all the furniture you wanted, and now you can't. Now you have to buy hairstyles.
Have you ever bought anything on a game like with real that's amounted in real money? Like something frivolous. I mean, because I'm not immune to this. I mean, I bought a fake monkey for my Xbox avatar. And the boxing gloves, because it looks funny to have boxing gloves, a monkey, and a pumpkin head.
I bought a Sega T-shirt for 80 points, and I think that was it.
So you just bought a T-shirt that says you've got Sega T-shirts in real life.
Well, that's why my avatar has to be a realistic representation.
You see, for me, for me, it's wish fulfillment. Then, like I long for that monkey in the boxing glove.
My avatar is the guy that I always want to be. He's very optimistic, and he's got a chocobo chick as a pet. That's kind of where I see myself in 10 years.
And my Xbox avatar has more than 10 friends. So someday.
I think the worst are the Street Fighter 4 costumes and things like that. It's like.
I bought one of those. That's how I got the gloves.
No! Oh no!
Duncan or whatever his name is, the boxer.
Oh, Dudley.
Dudley, that's it. I have Dudley's gloves.
I am glad that this podcast is not scripted, because otherwise, you still have the ability to shock me. So I can't believe you bought a Street Fighter 4 costume. That's pretty low.
And on that bombshell,
every podcast we do gets us closer to becoming enemies. But anyway, I think that's about all we've got time for this week. So next week we'll be covering. I don't know what we'll be covering, but if you do have any suggestions and things you'd like us to cover, you can send us an email. That'll be nice.
Send it to mailbag@split-screen.net.
That's right. Or, of course, well, it's not wrong. Or you could send us a message on Twitter, or you could try and add us as a friend on Facebook. That probably won't go very well.
That won't work. You won't find me. I'm on a different name on Facebook. So.
Yeah, you'll find me. I just won't respond. But hit us up on Xbox Live or Twitter, or email us, and we'll be more than happy to hear your comments. So until next time, see you soon.
Bye.
Or hear you soon, maybe? Maybe hear you soon.
Hear you soon? Well, actually, yeah, I guess it's not see. They'll hear us soon. So keep listening. Listen out in the night. You'll hear a call and you'll know.